fuck's going on here?
Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
See, I feel I'm the best in the sport, and to be the best, you got to be the best.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
To be one champion, one face, one name. His name's Deontay Wilder.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
This is the fight that I've been wanting to keep done for the longest time.
110%. There's no doubt in my mind. That fight will happen. There's no doubt in my mind. I'll beat Wilder as well.
I'm scaring heavyweights each and every time. Don't you see it? You know, I am the most feared. And if I'm not, then I want somebody to shut me up. I want somebody to prove that to me. I want to be proven wrong.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. Good morning, TBV, a double edition of the morning show brought to you by Ness and Mike. We're here, TBV style, morning show edition, WBC making news. But is it WBC or is it a man who seems to be looking to get a Promoter of the Year award? You know, things happen when you're with a good promoter. I don't think anyone was expecting Dulorme and Vargas to be for a WBC title, to be somehow mentioned or linked with Keith one-time Thurman and Sean, WBC champion Showtime Porter. But when you're Eddie Hearn, you can position your guys the way you position Dillian White to be the mandatory for the WBO so that he could eventually get a shot at Anthony Joshua, which ultimately fits your plan. And if you're Eddie Hearn, you keep good relations with WBC President Mauricio Suleiman so that you can finagle a way for the Vargas Dulorme to get a WBC Silver title, which would ultimately land them in the ring with Showtime Sean Porter, especially if he can't solidify a big fight with a Thurman or a Spence, and he's got to wait. And this is a mandatory. Well, this is what we're going to be talking about. If this is something you're interested in, something you want to give us your take on, well, then you know the number to do so is 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time to voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. I did text Ken Porter. Remember, he is on Vegas time, so I just hit him up like, Ken, are you up? Kind of hoping he was up, see if he could jump on and let us know what his thoughts are on the winner, obviously wanting a shot at Porter. I mean, the press releases are in. This news is official. And coming straight from Matchroom, you know, they're saying winner of this wants a shot at Porter. Winner of this gets a shot at Porter. You know, so let me jump out to my co-host, Mike, over in the Rock.
I speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. I can't say it enough. I speak it, believe it.
Windows camp, 2 attempts, handed bands over. Sicko hit, shot and miss, 2 to stand over. Breadwinner, huh? Look who in the building. Let me check my Instagram. I might be at 1 million.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Oh, man, my mind better not flinch wrong. What's going on, TBP family? We back with another one. And this about to have my phone blowing up. Everybody think I'm in the Rock. I am in Indianapolis. I'm not in Little Rock currently. But we have some topics to talk about, Vargas and Dulorme. Speaking of, man, it's not what you know. It's kind of like who you know. You know what I'm saying? Once you look up with that Eddie Hearn, man, you start getting things that other fighters kind of dream of. So Vargas and Dulorme is for a WBC silver title, and it could be a position for a mandatory position to Sean Porter. That's big news right there. That's big news because if that happens, then that means a likely purse bid would happen because, you know, Sean Porter and Kenny Porter have been on the show and they said they are loyal Showtime. And we all know that Jessie Vargas got a 3-fight deal with Dazn. So if that fight was to take place, then maybe some kind of cross promotion or maybe some kind of purse bid will be the main thing. I see somebody in the chat said Vargas and Dulorme is horrible. I mean, you can call it not one of the best fights, but at the same time, there are two names in the division, two of the top 15 welterweights. So at the end of the day, I mean,
hey, it's more than two names, buddy, because it's two names that will now be linked to Sean Porter, and with Eddie as the driver in the car that is this silver WBC title, he's going to make sure that things get mandated. Now, we've seen Eddie have a WBC silver champion and he not get his shot.
Two of them.
White. Two? Who else?
Yeah, Callum Smith was also a silver champion for the super middleweight, and he was supposed to fight Darrell for the belt for the longest, and that never materialized.
Now, let's go down Theory Street here, right? Hypothetical Avenue. We seen Sean and Ken. Well, actually, we seen Ken Porter come on this show one day after winning the WBC title and saying that his son is a free agent. We seen Ken come to Las Vegas for Canelo Alvarez and repeat that his son is a free agent. We seen Akin Barak, the boxing experts on Dazn, do a one-on-one with Sean Porter and his son. And now we hear that Eddie Hearn has a WBC silver. And in the press release, let me just pull that up for you to give you their.
Why are you pulling that up now? Now, you were the one who stated, because I posed the question.
Welterweights meet in Chicago on October 6th, Mike. Clash with Porter targeted for winner.
Now
I mean, you're targeting this. I'm sure you had a little conversation with Sean and Ken. Remember, I've asked Sean on numerous occasions, and he's like, maybe he didn't call me because I changed my number. I haven't got a call yet, but I will entertain it.
That ain't even the most important conversation, though. Now, I posed this question maybe when we had Kenny on the line, and I was like, would you guys ever consider moving on from like Showtime to ESPN or to like Dazn? And you were like, they wouldn't cross Al Heyman. So do we think Al Heyman has given his blessing for Porter to maybe like it? I'm not saying
I don't think Al's giving his blessings. Look, I'll save you the time. I don't think Al's giving his blessings, but I think that Ken is a businessman, and as any intelligent businessman, no matter where your alliances are, you at least entertain.
We got a comment from Open Office that I really think is spot on. Porter got treated like as a B-side. He will be a Dazn A-side.
That's right.
I mean,
and if you could promise Sean Porter the next 3 fights at $2 million each, and you fight, the likes of Vargas and whoever else they could find.
Don't matter. $2 million each. Shit.
So here's some quotes from Thomas Dulorme, who is the number 3 WBC ranked. My focus has solely. No, this is actually from Vargas.
I've been saying, what about the guy Ugas that everybody was saying going to be the mandatory? Does he just
look up the rankings while I read this quote? Look up WBC rankings, see where Ugas is at. Remember, Ugas was also highly ranked on the
IBF,
and I think he decided to change focuses. But my focus, and I quote, "My focus has to be solely on Thomas Dulorme," said WBC number 3 ranked Vargas. "This man is no walk in the park. He fights with his heart and always gives it his all. But I have prepared properly and record a tremendous victory, and will record a tremendous victory. I'm sorry. It's going to be a great show, and I'm proud to be headlining it. This is the first step in the new phase of my career as a fighter. It's always best to have fights lined up. And let me see if this is Ken. Pick that up. Did you find what you was looking for?
Yeah, I found what I was looking for. Right now, we all know that Sean Porter is the champion, and the silver champion right now is held by a guy from Uzbekistan. I'm not sure if they're going to strip him or how's that going to go.
And when does it say that these last were updated?
That's why I'm trying to find the freshest one. I done found two of them, but they still had updated September 2018. So yeah, this month.
And I quote, "This is the first step in the new phase of my career. As a fighter, it's always best to have fights lined up and have a clear plan. Have a promoter that shows you you're going to fight 3 times in 12 months. And when you get that certainty, you know you have a couple of weeks off after a fight. And then you're into another training camp to give fans another great fight. I'm still young and I have plenty of years left in me at the very top level. I'm truly excited." And I quote, "Sean Porter is my boy, and he's a great fighter. He's got a lot of experience, great stamina and power. I will fight the top guys, all the champions. There are some huge fights to make out there at welterweight. We're all going to go at it, and we're all going to see who ends up on top."
How do you feel about this Dulorme and a Vargas fight being for a mandatory position? I mean,
well, I think this is clearly headlines. Like I said, we've seen White, who the world considers a top-tier echelon heavyweight in his division. At least he's a top fighter in his division. And we've seen him not get anything resorted from a WBC silver title. I don't believe this makes him a mandatory, but I believe that this gets some sort of chatter, and you can possibly use this to fall into a fight with the Porter or whoever the champion is at the time. I highly doubt this is direct path to a Porter fight. Not in my opinion. You know, Eddie will have to continue to grease the WBC in order to continue to raise Vargas into that position. But I didn't hear you say any name that is bigger than Vargas in those rankings of the WBC.
There isn't really any bigger name. I'm trying to find like an updated roster.
Well,
but
maybe Eddie finagles a way for Vargas to be one of those 2 mandatories that we know the WBC is implementing. Remember, a lot of this is going to come to light after the convention that the WBC is going to have somewhere in the Middle East in about a month.
They're going to the Middle East. Wow.
Yeah, they're going to like Uzbekistan or some shit like that. They thought Kanadi was going to win.
Oh, yeah. Well, damn, that's fucked up.
Nah, I don't know if they thought that. I'm just fucking lying.
I often said, damn, that's fucked up. They over there got all those fans and shit. But yeah, man, I can't really find no freaking, because nobody's updated.
All right, so let me quote. And look, this is something we just said. Jessie is the leading contender in the WBC rankings, and I am very confident that a victory on October 6th will lead him to the mandatory position for Sean Porter, said promoter Eddie Hearn. That's a great fight that we would be very interested in. But first, we must win the Mexico versus Puerto Rico battle in Chicago. And this is what I'm saying. If you can't find a sexier name, you know, fucking Eddie's gonna go to Mauricio. He's gonna say, look, a fight between Vargas and Porter. If I win the purse bid, because you know I'm gonna bid aggressively, you get XY percentage of that. You know they get a percentage because that's a belt on the line, and they get a percentage of the purse. So it's like, yeah, I want my champion to be in the biggest fight, so I get the biggest percentage check. Now, some of these champions do have flat fees negotiated, you know, but Porter, I don't know. Would he have a flat fee negotiated, being as though that he just became a champion, never been a WBC champion? You know?
I would expect the offer from Dazn to be worth him leaving. I mean,
he don't gotta leave. All Eddie gotta do is win the purse bid.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He ain't gotta leave. And all Mauricio got to do is allow Eddie to be the mandatory, so then there is a purse bid. And there's a lot of headlines, and guess what those headlines say? Eddie Hearn and Dazn battle Al Heyman for WBC purse bid for rights to mandatory. WBC mandatory, Dazn, and like it's going to be so much WBC. Why wouldn't they? You tell me, if Eddie doesn't get in here and push Vargas or the winner of as the mandatory, who are we talking about? Who's Porter's mandatory? You're saying some guy from Kazakhstan. I didn't even
Uzbekistan. Know. Yeah, he's a silver champion. I can't even say his fucking name, but like I'm looking down the WBC. The only person that you could even maybe bring up a thing after he has like a warm-up fight is Danny Garcia. I mean, he's the biggest name in that WBC ranking besides Jessie Vargas.
The saddest part is Dulorme is such a B-side that he's not even in a press release. There's not even a quote from him that says, I'm going to upset the plans and show them that I will be the one facing Sean Porter when I defeat Vargas. There's not even that. They didn't even go to him. So Vargas has to win. And this is what I'm saying. Vargas is probably going to win. But can he win impressively? Can he win by knockout? Can he win in a manner that's going to want to say or tell us, yeah, let's watch him face Porter. But that's my final thoughts, man. I'm happy to be a boxing fan. You know, Eddie's keeping this needle moving. Al's keeping the needle moving. Bob is now keeping the needle moving. And I'm happy. On the undercard of this Dulorme fight, don't forget you got the Big Baby Miller versus Thomas Adamek fight, and you also have the IBF World Light Heavyweight titleist, unbeaten puncher, Russian Arthur Beterbiev, and he's going to be taking on UK's own Callum Johnson, right? So
Dynamite.
Yeah, so that's couple fights that we don't normally get to see. We'll see. You know, we haven't seen much of Beterbiev on television, so we get to see that.
If you're a betting man, I would bet on Callum Johnson. He's like, I think it's like minus 300 or something like that.
I don't know. I seen Callum Johnson. I don't know. I mean, you know, he doesn't look extraordinary. So
I seen Beterbiev chin too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. Callum Johnson, crack.
Okay.
But as far as the Vargas and Dulorme, let's just see how it plays out. I mean, we don't know for sure if it's going to be a mandatory. Like you said, the WBC might want their palms greased a little bit more. So, but it is good for Dazn, and it is good for Vargas too. Like have that
it at least keeps that the headlines going with their name in it, bro. Like
absolutely,
they're becoming a fixture, you know.
And then for Vargas, I mean, it's like the little carrot dangling in front of him. If you get past Dulorme, then you're a civil champion and you have a possibility of fighting Sean Porter. I mean, don't really get no bigger than that. I mean, if you're still trying to become a two-time champion. So shout out to Vargas and shout out to the whole Dazn team just giving us boxing back-to-back weekends. I mean, then it should be another weekend, right? It may be. Is that card? It might be on the Zone. I don't know.
What?
I think it's a card on October 13th. I'm trying to think if it's on DAZN on that.
I think the next DAZN is October 6th. Then there's the Boston show, Chicago.
October 20. Yeah.
The New York fight you're talking about is a matchroom boxing. Eddie Hearn, Daniel Jacobs thing. That's like the 20.
That's 27. Yeah. I could have sworn that somebody had something going. Maybe it's Frank Warren on ESPN Plus. I don't know. And I was gonna ask you, we should do a fight chat for. Yep, there we go. I knew Robbie. I knew you were gonna come through for me because I ain't want to say his name because I ain't want to sound stupid.
Yeah, but do we get that on DAZN?
Yeah, yep. Louis Richardson, yes sir. That's a Sky Sports card, but he's gonna be a headline. I won't know headline, but he's gonna be on it. So we'll get it.
We actually got a UK caller just slid in.
And I was gonna ask you, speaking something about the UK, we should definitely do a fight chat for Groves and Smith. Groves got a following, man.
Who?
George Groves and Callum Smith. George Groves got a following, man. He got some he got residual. He got residuals off of Froch and residuals off Eubank Jr.
Don't nobody know.
And Eubank Jr. gonna be his first fight back too.
Don't nobody know what I do. Let me get to Idris in the UK. What up? Idris, take yourself off mute, homie.
Idris, Alba, what's up? String a bell.
Muhammad, Idris Muhammad, going once,
2 times.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
There we go.
My bad. Let me just. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, man. Stringer Bell. I know you saw him in attendance and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen him.
Real quick, yeah. Listen, yeah. Something seriously needs to be done about these governing bodies. Yeah. Like I was thinking about this during the weekend as well. Like it's you know what? Yeah, you can call me Eddie Hearn matchroom fan. You know what? Yeah, you might be right to some degree in that. Yeah, but something needs to be done seriously about the governing bodies. Like no other sports can allow the WBO, WBA, and WBC presidents were all in attendance for Joshua's fight. You know what I'm trying to say? Next thing you know, Anthony Crawler is final eliminator for Lomachenko. Fucking, you got just final eliminators all over the matchroom board. You know what I'm trying to say? You're gonna see this happening for the next few months. Like these something's happening in boxing right now, and people are aligning themselves with teams, you know. So I've never really liked the fact that the WBC have usually stuck with the PBC. The WBO has been fucking with Frank Warren since the 90s, and Eddie Hearn. The IBF are the only people right now that don't take shit. They don't even have a Twitter account. They don't have an Instagram. I don't even know who the hell that guy is. You know what I'm trying to say? They don't let anybody off. So something needs to be done about that, man. No other sport can get away with stuff like that, man. Last year, the FBI ran up on Fever's what do you call it? Their head office and arrested like 30 top big people. Do you know what I'm trying to say? For stuff like this, and how Russia ended up getting the bidding for the World Cup venues and stuff like that, little things like that.
But you gotta understand the worldwide appeal for soccer is not like the worldwide appeal for boxing. So most governments and the people that's in power really don't care about it.
Yeah, but governing bodies should be treated like state athletic commissions. This is where the state athletics commission should be stepping in and be.
Yeah, you can say that, but I don't know, man.
If one of these, like in the next year or two, they actually think, you know what? No, like. Then it's first of all, yeah, in America, yeah, there's 50 different governing states of, do you know what I mean? So if one state bans you for something, you can just go somewhere else. That's why the Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson fight, where was that held? Somewhere in Texas.
Japan.
You know, remember?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Vegas.
But one thing that I want to bring up, bro.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, there just needs to be one state commissions, American state commissions, yeah, and the British Board of Boxing together. They should be there. If they were together, they would wipe out all of this corruption that's going in with the. Trust me, man. This is not the end of it, man. You're gonna see this happening next. Like, you're gonna keep carrying on seeing all these matchroom fighters getting final eliminators. And like, as much as I love matchroom fighters, this is not what I want to see in boxing. I want to see people, like, you know, I don't want to see people aligning themselves with companies. Like, this is a sport at the end of the day, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate your call, brother. Thank you for the support.
Yeah, man. Sure, man. Mike, keep doing your thing, man. These are the questions you asked AJ that day. Yeah, you had the best questions, man. And I know they appreciate it as well, man. Keep doing your thing.
I'll try, man. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Hey, one thing that I wanted to bring up about the governing bodies, Teddy Atlas was on Joe Rogan yesterday, and he was bringing up things about the governing bodies and how they are just corrupt and how they charge too much for sanction fees and how they play politics and all this and all that. And I say this right here to say all that. I mean, until the fans and like government start like really caring about how boxing is being portrayed and how boxing is going, that shit is not going to change anytime soon about the governing bodies. I mean, they are the people that have probably some of the most power in boxing because they have the belt. So, and everybody's dream is to become champion. So that kind of gives them a upper hand on fighters and on promoters and pretty much on everybody, unless you just a Canelo or a Floyd to where the belt doesn't matter anymore. But for most fighters, the belt matters. My guys over there, do we have any more calls?
We don't, but we do have Ken. I'm just trying to see, could we get him on? Remember, he's Vegas time. I woke him up.
Okay, well, shit. Hey, take your time.
So,
take your time. I'm pretty sure the fans will appreciate Ken Porter being on the line.
He wants to be brought up to speed. Obviously, this is breaking news, and he doesn't see any links out there. And I'm like, yeah, but that's because this is email only, homie.
Yeah, we got a press release. I was gonna say,
so I emailed it to him. Let's see what happens.
But yeah, if you're liking what you're hearing right now, please smash that thumbs up button. It helps with the visibility of the show. And if you want some behind the scenes exclusive content, please go over to Patreon/ThaBoxingVoice, where we kind of just let our hair down for those of us who have hair and get comfortable and let you guys inside of our daily lives. And we just had a untitled episode today. So if you're curious about our Vegas trip and how that was, go over to Patreon/ThaBoxingVoice and find out. And also, if you guys want to show your love and support, man, you can cash up Nest GTO, or you can show PayPal, or we got the super chats. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get to Boston on the 20th, trying to go to Deontay Wilder training camp right after the Boston trip. And who knows, maybe we'll end up in Danny Jacobs media day training or something. You never know, but we need help. Well, we'll be going anyway, but help couldn't hurt.
Well, man, I don't want to keep everybody waiting. Obviously, he's got to digest all that. Like I said, he's West Coast news. You know, this is what TBB doing. We're trying to bring you breaking stuff. It would have been dope to get him on. I'm 100% sure the minute we end this, he's gonna be hitting me up, and I'm gonna have the off-air conversation with him about it, which is gonna suck. But that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, you know. It's our second show, so I hope that you have already subscribed to the YouTube channel to be notified every time we go live by clicking that notification bell. It's usually on the bottom right. You want to go ahead and click that and make sure, you know, you get those emails every time Neo Mike go live on a live stream. We're also at 86,140, and we're on our way to get 87,000 by the end of the day. So you know, do your part. Make sure you subscribe. You tell your friends to subscribe, your parents, everybody. You know, make an account for your kid and have them subscribe, because we need those numbers. Numbers are power, and we're trying to get more power. You see, Eddie got the numbers, that he got that bag full of numbers, and he keeps giving his fighters power. He just gave Vargas leverage over other welterweights that don't have a silver title, that are not ranked as highly as him. And that's how you get ranked, by paying them sanctioning fees. But I'm your host, Nesta Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. Peace.
Yeah. Wow. That's great. I go by MG Mike Gross. You can follow me on Twitter at Gross2312 or on IG at Gross1911. Big shout out to Eddie Hearn and the whole Dazn movement. Glad to see you guys are trying to claw your way into the U.S. market and making fights that mean something. I mean, it actually means something. It's WBC silver title, and hey, maybe mandatory for Sean Porter. Who knows? Let's see it. Let's see it.
Peace.